So an interesting thing is happening in MAGA these days. When it comes to the media pundits, there is a huge split when it comes to the Iran war and when it comes to the Epstein files and stuff like that, right? So you have like Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, even like Matt Walsh now is flirting with this position. They're against war with Iran. They're certainly against, I mean, I guess they were kind of okay with the quick, bombing thing that happened in the summer, but now they're like, I don't like this, right? You also have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was big time MAGA, has, gone a little further away from that position recently since she's left Congress, and now she's more directly calling out Trump, right? But big split in the MAGA media class. And you have the Sean Hannitys and the traditional conservative Republic, the Laura Loomers and stuff, the Mark Levins, the Donald Trumps. They are still rah-rah, all pro-war, doing the war, etc. Now, it's a little misleading, though, because, yes, there's a big disagreement among the MAGA media class, and I do think that matters in the long run. However, having said that, among the MAGA voters, there is no disagreement. Before Trump did the bombing and the war in Iran, it was like anywhere between 40% to 55% of the Republican base said, I want to do war with Iran. So it was pretty low, all things considered, 40 to 55%. Then after Trump launched this illegal and offensive war with Netanyahu, with the axis of Epstein here, now it's all the way up to 85%, like that. Just like in the summer, it was at like 40 or 50% supported bombing Iran. After Trump did it, it shot up to 95% among MAGA Republicans. So it's actually true to say there's not much of a split among the actual voters. They go where Trump goes. In other words, yes, it is a terrorist death cult. It is. That's what it is. That's what MAGA is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So the split with the media pundits is not really reflective of where the base is. In fact, I'd venture to guess if you're Tucker Carlson now or Megyn Kelly or any of these people who are really speaking up against this, you probably are getting quite a bit of shit from people who used to like you because they've rented their brain out to a fat pedophile war criminal known as Donald Trump. Now, having said that, Donald Trump was given word that, hey man, these people who like you and are part of MAGA and who are in the media, they're pretty fucking mad and they don't agree with what you're doing here. And he fired Baksky. So we get this. Exclusive. In a phone call with me just now, Donald Trump hit back at MAGA world critics of his Iran gambit, including Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson. Kelly, quote, ought to study her history book a little bit, he said when asked the criticism on her show today. Tucker's criticism has no impact on me. That's what Trump said. And MAGA, POTUS told me, is with him. Quote, I think that MAGA is Trump. MAGA's not the other two, Trump said, referring to Kelly and Carlson. MAGA wants to see our country thrive and be safe, and MAGA loves what I'm doing, every aspect of it. In other words, he's saying, yeah, bitch, this is a cult and I'm the cult leader, motherfucker. Yeah, this is like Jim Jones. I'm Jim Jones. I'm the Kool-Aid handing out dude. That's what I do, right? Somebody said the only difference between Trump and Jim Jones is Trump would charge you for the Kool-Aid before it kills you. Jim Jones would just give it to you. Iran, he added, quote, is a detour that we have to take in order to keep our country safe and keep other countries safe, frankly. So that's sort of an admission like, am I doing this for Israel? You bet your ass I'm doing this for Israel. Trump's comments come as the White House is flooding the zone to defend its attack on Iran, an offensive that peaks as early public polling suggests Americans disapprove of the campaign. So among the American public, I've seen numbers as low as like 21 to 25% that support the bombing and highs of like 39%. Right? That's the range. So even though MAGA loves it, everybody else hates it. On Monday night, Vice President J.D. Vance took to Fox News with a clear message. This is not Iraq or Afghanistan. Oh, I'm sure, buddy. By the way, at the beginning of Iraq, they said this isn't Iraq. They said, oh, this will be like a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. And then over 20 years later, we're still motherfucking there. I'm told by the White House that the PR push will pull in other high-profile administration officials too, including Steve Witkoff, the guy who's grifting off of foreign policy and personally profiting because he's a corrupt asshole, and Michael Waltz, that's the fucking Israeli spy who was involved in Signalgate. And we should expect frequent, if not daily, briefings by the Pentagon. The damage control effort follows some prominent Trump world allies questioning the need for the operation at all. On Monday, Kelly became the latest to assail the administration for fighting a war that she argued is not America First priorities. Here she is. So this is what Megyn Kelly said. Ready? Why are we doing this now? What was the catalyst? Kelly asked her millions of followers, adding that, I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I have serious doubts about what we're doing. I support the president. I campaign for the president. But that doesn't mean you have to accept another Middle East war without question. And anybody who tells you that can suck it. Read some of Kelly's comments. Trump dismissed them. Kelly, quote, was opposed to me. She was opposed to me for years when I ran the first time, and nothing stopped me. And so, some people are against, and they always come back, he said calmly. You know what's so devastating? That's actually accurate about MAGA. This has been my main bone to pick with these people. I mean, we talked about it when it came to fucking Dave Smith, who's one of the better people on the right. He's a libertarian. He's one of the better people. But he went from Trump, so this is in the first term, with Trump arming and funding genocide in Yemen by arming and funding Saudi Arabia and letting them do it, right? He goes, this is genocidal shit. Not only should he be in prison, he should be buried under the prison, Dave Smith said. Cut to 2024, he goes, I think I'm going to vote Trump. See, there's my problem, because even sometimes when you get, somebody on the right might have a moment of clarity and lucidity where they say the right thing. You tune in 2 weeks later and Trump does some other dumb bullshit and they're like, I may have been mad before, but I sure do love this thing where he's like saying fuck you to trans people and trying to take away their health care. That's awesome. So it's back, forth. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He says she was opposed to me at first and then she hopped on the bandwagon because my force of personality is stronger than hers. That's exactly right. And he goes, some people might be against, but they always come back. That's exactly right. Now, having said that, though, and this is my question for you guys, I do believe the Jeffrey Epstein war is going to be such a fucking disaster that it already is, right? I mean, we're watching them commit genocide on live TV. And we're watching our bases get bombed and all that stuff. I think he's going to go to his floor. I think his floor is in the near future. And as I've always told you guys, his floor is anywhere from like 25% to 33%. Once he falls in that range, he literally can't go any lower because everybody else is card-carrying members of the terrorist death cult who just literally Donald Trump can rape their moms and shoot them in the face right in front of them and they would just be like, I love my Donald Trump. So he's never going to go below that. But I think this will get to the floor. So even though he's right talking about the media pundits like, oh, you always come back, you sad motherfuckers, he actually might be wrong in the long run because, yes, it's happened every time to this point, but, I mean, you don't have the sauce anymore, dog. You don't have the sauce. The thing is, he could get away with some shit when, the economy was doing okay. And now it's but everything is crumbling around him. Everything. And so I don't know exactly what that floor is, whether it's 25% or 28% or 33%, but, he's going to fucking hit it. He's going to hit it. And so it's actually, I do think in the long run, it's kind of intelligent what Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and these people are doing because they're realizing Trump's 80 years old. He's literally rotting away in front of us, as we'll talk about in a little bit. I don't know how much longer he is for this earth. He's high in his own supply. He's clearly losing his mind and showing signs of Alzheimer's. He's warmongering like nobody's business. He's destroying the economy. So where am I going to be in 7 years? Right? If I just hitch my wagon to this asshole until the fucking Titanic crashes into the iceberg, why would I do that? I need to start distancing myself now. So there's complex dynamics at play here. You see what I'm saying? And so I think these guys in the long run actually are the smarter ones because there is going to have to be a Republican Party after MAGA, after Trump. And right now, the motherfucking stench that's all over J.D. Vance and all over Marco Rubio and all over Tulsi Gabbard and RFK and all these loathsome, vapid, vile, empty cretins, they're cooked. They're done. When this is over, I mean, they're going to have to go get a job at Denny's, all right? They're going to have to go to Arby's and sign up there because there ain't going to be anything left for you in politics because the world is going to be done with you guys. All right, they continue here. Worth noting, there's a belief among some insiders that Republicans will give the president the benefit of the doubt and eventually come around. A senior White House official told me this afternoon that we are in the first inning of a 9-inning game. All right, well, if that's the case, you motherfuckers are down 12-0 already. Quote, the Panicans need to relax, the person said, referring to Trump's nickname for worrywart Republicans. The president and cabinet will continue to make the case about why this was necessary. How can it be necessary when you guys started it? You did the illegal attack. You did the offensive attack. They had agreed to your uranium demands, and you still attacked them. By definition, that is not necessary. There are questions in Trump world about how deep the MAGA fracture actually runs. Some argue that while these voices of dissent may be loud with large followings, they don't constitute a majority of Republicans. But other Republicans argue that logic merely papers over GOP fractures that now need to be repaired ahead of the midterms. Even if, say, 30% of Republicans are on the other side of this issue from the White House, that could cause some major problems for the Electoral Coalition. And they are, right? And they are. Or we're getting there. It's like I said, what is 85% at this moment? But last time he did it was 95%. So, like, it's going one direction and it ain't up. All right. One Republican operative involved in multiple statewide races across the country told me, this person argued, it's hard to see how the politics play out favorably, and the real question is how fast the administration can wrap up the job and pivot. I mean, it really is one of those things where, like, he's really pushing it as far as you can go. It's almost like he's testing the cult. Like, okay, are you really a death cult? Let's see how far you'll go, right? It almost feels like that. I mean, it's not. It's really about, like, he's blackmailed by Mossad, and he's also a warmonger, and, he's a fucking idiot. Like, it's more about that. But this fundamentally is a test for the cult. And, he's pushing the boundary as much as he possibly can. And we're at the point now where, like, what else would he have to do to prove he's evil, sadistic, and stupid? Like, does he actually have to nuke Iran? Does he actually have to nuke Iran? Because that's on the motherfucking table now. And when he does that, what's the reaction going to be? I got to tell you the truth, though. I'm sickened at the fact that there hasn't been impeachment. There hasn't been a movement to impeach. There hasn't been impeachment. There has been no talk of the 25th Amendment. Because, like, we're already talking about an illegal and offensive war against a country that didn't attack us. They're saying boots on the ground are inevitable. They're admitting we attacked first. They're carpet bombing innocent civilians. What the fuck else would he have to do? They're lying about every single element of this. What would he have to do? Like, I don't understand. Do we have literally zero morals left, zero ethics left, zero intelligence left? And apparently the answer is yes. But Trump is now fed up with the minor, might I add, minor criticism being lobbied his way by some MAGA media figures. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see it play out. But I do sense that in the near future, he's going to dip. I really think he'll have a 29% poll come out at some point soon. I think he already had a 29% poll that was supposed to come out from Gallup, and that's why they decided, hey, we're not tracking the president's numbers anymore, y'all. Remember that? I think they did that because they realized the number was so low that if they released it, Trump would, like, do the thing where he sues them or he, comes after them or audits them or whatever. I think they were just like, let's just not release this. So I think we're already there. But certainly if we weren't there already, in the near future, there's going to be like a 29% banger. So he's definitely out over his skis. And he's no longer has his A game. Motherfucker doesn't even have his C game anymore.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.